happy afternoon here on our stage, on our new terrific big stage. We're so proud of it, not just here at the stage, but to all of you at home. A warm welcome to all of you who are maybe watching from your phones, from your PCs, from your tablets, to the Spoke Horse. We have a great program here on the stage, and we have going to talk about a really interesting topic. This is about e-commerce. This is our e-commerce forum series. We have Michelle Holtmeyer from eHorses and eDogs. She's giving a talk with Karin Wahl about why it's hard to combine online and offline. Online is so well designed to make people want to buy. So I'm going to ask them to come on stage right now, Michelle Holtmeyer and Karin Wahl, who hasn't just written 2 books. She also advises companies on how they can best present their brick-and-mortar stores. Welcome. You can applaud. Let's give them a little bit of recognition. Might have just eaten lunch. Thank you. Have fun. Thank you. So we're happy to be here, and we have an exciting topic to talk about: how you can combine online and offline successfully. It's an important thing. So you can present well at trade shows, and that the online presence also works well. My name is Michelle Holtmeyer. I'm head of marketing by eHorses and eDogs. I'm very involved in online marketing. I think I have some good tips for you. Karin, would you like to introduce yourself? I'm Karin Wahl. I am a qualified interior designer for visual marketing. I'm also a trainer. So my knowledge is so extensive that I can act as a consultant for companies. I can speak about POS inspiration areas. I tell people how they can create special experiences in brick-and-mortar stores affordably. So Michelle and I are going to talk about this topic, and then I will be able to give you some tips as well on how you can bring some interesting design into your business. So
dass sie offline, sage ich mal, in den Laden gehen und dann machen sie sagen,
we're going to talk about online work. I'm going to take the first step to talk about how can you make placements, online advertising, and then your offline topics. We'll try to combine those two, and then take people by the hand. And so here is the customer journey. This is what it looks like, and this is how you can combine it successfully. So we're going to talk about local online marketing. Why is this important? Well, local searching is an enormous part of searching online. People look on Google and they add their areas where they're in. So we want to be able to answer their questions for specific place requests. 1 in 3 searches has a local reference to it. These searches have a specific navigation that they can then get the customers to that place. Since 2020, over 70% of searches are done over mobile devices. That's because we're all sitting in front of our PCs. We spend much more time on our computers, so that when I want to do some optimizing for a local search, I will look on my phone. So one might look on a handy and then think, well, that's not really as good as I want it to be. So that's why we're going to be incorporating both steps. How one makes searches over the smartphone. From these searches, over 80% of the smartphone users use the Near Me option in their searches. Google will suggest this immediately. These are the suggestions that come down underneath the search field in my area. Google understands its users well and will sometimes allocate a place quickly to them. This is the first connection to offline marketing. 55% of all offline buyers find information online before they buy a product or use a service. There's always a bit of an obstacle to finding information. Normally, one used to be able to go into a store and ask more information about product or service, and then get information from somebody there in store. But Google is taking that over. Potential customers are already looking at Google for more information that they then take into the stores. Whether they then buy online or buy in a brick-and-mortar store. This means, why do we use local online marketing? Most people do their research over their smartphones. That's 35% will then buy online. There are many very large online businesses will then process this and develop this customer journey for the visitors. Then there are 26% of people who will then go into a store and buy what they're looking for there. For example, if I want to buy riding breeches, I will want to try them on before. I want to see if they really fit, if I really like the fabric, how they look on me. That's important that I have that experience before I purchase. I know that well. I'd like to try it on. I'd like to touch the product. I'd like to have it in my hand. So that's possible that this works more online.
Online-Marketing, dass wir die Leute dann halt durch das Online-Marketing dahin bringen, dass sie die lokale Suche ausführen und dann halt im nächsten Step ins Geschäft gehen. Aber das Ganze muss natürlich vorbereitet werden.
Many people will then look online, and then their next step would be going into the store, but the online work has to happen first. So why do we need local online marketing? For more visitors. There's a purchase frequency in the brick-and-mortar stores will be higher. You'll have higher sales numbers and revenues, and this increases awareness and visibility. So one can say, I will do online marketing because it will increase my sales.
Dafür gibt es natürlich verschiedene Möglichkeiten.
Now there are different options here in placements.
Step erstmal gucken, welche
So one has to know which options one has
damit ich die Leute eben im
to
nächsten Step
place
online ins Geschäft bekomme.
my products online. That's what we're going to talk about here. So everybody knows Google search. We have here as an example a shoe business in Cologne. So most people just look at the first page. Nobody looks at 10 pages of Google. Nobody has time for that, and nobody wants to. So it's important to appear on the first page of Google. So there are paid search results.
Gibt's immer diese Anzeigen darüber. Das nennt sich SEA, das ist Search Engine Advertisement.
Search Engine Advertisement, SAI,
In diesem Fall ist das
will use keywords as a search term.
und ja, kann sich
Here we've used shoe store in Cologne, and the paid advertisements will then, of course, come first. This is a large area of online marketing. It's important for these stores to be able to have their name come up in the first searches.
und wird dann als allererstes im Idealfall gefunden.
Ideally, you'll be at the very top.
Aber noch die organische Suche.
There's also organic searches. This is what eHorses does.
Was ist die organische Suche?
What is organic search?
Was in der Google-Suche, in der Suchergebnisliste
In the Google search results, it's what comes as ads. There might be a few articles that are not paid. They arise to the top organically.
der darauf klickt auf die Seite, wie das bei den anderen Anzeigen der Fall ist, sondern was dann sozusagen kostenloser Traffic in diesem
Yeah,
Fall.
this is free traffic. There's no paid clicks.
Ja. In der organischen Suche weit oben gelistet zu werden, ist natürlich auch
To be at the top of an organic search, it isn't always easy.
so einfach und dann könnte es jeder mal eben machen. Das
If it were easy, everybody would be doing it.
heißt, dass man wirklich seine Seite auch für die Google-Suche, für den Nutzer so optimieren muss,
It has to be optimized in such a way that really the highest quality results will appear at the top. Google, as the search machine, will then recognize that the user is getting what they want or is continuing to look, and will then adjust. There's also Google Local Pack. This shows you an area where shoe businesses, in this example, or Italian restaurants, appear in your area, in a certain area. So sometimes you can just look right on Google Maps to see where you can go to, because it will appear right into the Maps interface. And then there will be a telephone number, opening hours. This is very important in restaurants, for example. Is the restaurant open? Maybe it hasn't opened yet. Can I call? All this information is there at a glance, so that you don't even have to click anywhere additionally. This is an advantage because people are lazy with clicking further.
Also kann dann auf Google Maps direkt gehen und sieht dann halt, okay, in meinem Suchgebiet zu meiner Suche.
So you can see here in Google Maps, in my area, in my search area, where can I go?
Und ja, kann dementsprechend durch Google Maps dann auch etwas finden. Dann gibt es Brancheneinträge. Ich denke, das kennen auch die meisten von uns. Das ist wirklich Seiten.
Okay, then there are entries in industry directories. For example, a directory called Das Örtliche.
Immer intelligenter, also Google, ich rede mal, als wenn Google ein Mensch wäre. Leider ist das irgendwann so, wenn man viel damit arbeitet. Aber Google versteht Suchanfragen
Google
sehr, sehr gut.
understands search queries very well.
Ist es in vielerlei Hinsicht schon so, dass solche Brancheneinträge direkt ausgespielt werden, weil Google dann auch wiederum weiß, okay, das ist genau das, was der Nutzer gerade sucht.
Google will then know what the user is looking for or guess what the user is looking for, and then we'll also use these industry directories and bring up their entries in the Google results. Then there's another very important option which is indispensable these days. That's social media. There's lots of different options to be present there. Facebook is very important. So what are my options? What are my placement options in social media? There's Google Ads. Sorry, I went a little bit too fast. Okay.
Und sollte da auch
In
einmal
Facebook, you have to then make a page and put everything that you need in it. Facebook, you can use Facebook as a search machine to get people to engage with a page. So let's go on to what are my options. I'll give you some more specific tips. What are the placement options available to me? So where that I can buy an ad by Google, and it's also that one can use Google Ads. So it will target my target group immediately. It's keywords selected specifically for my target group. So I can use specific keywords. I can buy them. For example, shoe business Cologne. And then people will then go to my page and I can show them. I can show them my ads. That's how you catch customers. You can also have regional control. If I use specific different keywords, these can be regional keywords as well. I can use cities. I can also be more specific, maybe for only one neighborhood in Cologne. So, for example, when people Google XY, I can see where they can go within walking distance. This is also, of course, connected to budgets. There are keywords that you can buy. Some are more expensive than others. Some are less competitive or less in demand. So the cost per click is their CPC-based billing model by Google Ads. So I'd have to pay for that click when someone clicks on me. So I have to keep in mind and that this is very important traffic. And if I want to reach the target groups that I want to reach. And so that they will then come and be engaged with my product or my website. So we talk about remarketing. The user goes to my web page and then leaves it. I can make an arrangement where remarketing will say that then if the user then leaves the page, they will then get ads from me elsewhere, so that I can keep him aware of my website. And this keeps giving the user the potential to maintain interest in my product. So that maybe they would see the ad again and say, oh, okay, that ad interests me, the website interests me, I think I'll try it out. If they might see that it's in my area, so in that way, the store can maybe win a customer. Here are some helpful tools. The Google Keyword Planner. can show you what keywords might be interesting for me as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. For example, the keyword shoe store in Cologne. You think that that's a very, very large area, and maybe you can have to invest a lot of money into making it specific possibly for you. Then there is Google Trends. This deals with lots of different search queries, and this has been developed in the course of the last years and improved, and measures the trends over a certain period of time. For example, over the war in Ukraine, you can see how things is that being more entered into search fields over Google. You can do this with businesses as well. Anything that is trending over time, Google will be measuring this and recording it. This way that you can find out when trends begin, and it can help you in starting online marketing measures. Suggest tools is exactly what its name is. It suggests tools that you might need for your business.
Suchbegriff eingeben in ein Tool und dann werden rundherum ganz viele weitere Fragen mit ausgespielt. Also
you can put in a main search query and it will lead to more questions for you. And which questions Google considers important in this context. Most of these searches are done over smartphones. And so they can check the location services for mobile visibility.
Ja, muss das auf jeden Fall optimiert sein.
That has to be optimized. Then there are locations in your area.
Dass man immer wieder gerade online
who is the contact partner? What is the information about the location? Directions to it. So you can insert the city or the region or a central keyword into the title tag of the landing page for local searches.
Sage ich mal, bei diesen Basics immer schon wieder daran denkt, dass das Ganze extrem wichtig ist und das nicht außer Acht gelassen werden darf. Das heißt, da kann man Adressen, Bewertungen und Öffnungszeiten angeben. Man kann
give addresses, ratings, and opening hours. You can give directions there. You can add builder slider elements.
Ja, mehr Lust da reinzugehen. Ich glaube, da gehst du noch.
Which will increase the attraction of coming into the store.
Genau, dann gibt es Filialfinder, das kann man auch selbst auf seiner Seite
There's a tool called Filial Finder, Branch Finder. This will help you to find a branch in your area. Here is one for a company called Reno to show where they are in Germany. This is Google My Business. That's very important for an online, offline business. If you search locally for a business, then Google Maps will be activated, and then the user will get a first impression which businesses that fit the search are available in the area.
Dafür ist es erstmal wichtig, dass der erste
So that's why it's important to say that the first impression really counts. So you can see that there are star ratings if there is only 3 stars, that might be something that I would avoid. We're all very interested in the opinions of other people, so it's hard to get 5 out of 5 stars. But if Google also pays attention to how these businesses are perceived. So you can ask customers, okay, can you give us a good Google ranking? Can you write something authentic? And then other customers will see that, and it will affect their coming to you. Here, Google My Business entries. These are more things that can be integrated into the search on page, consistency. You can see what will be awaiting me if I go into the store. You can get a first impression of it. Then there are the industry directory entries, which we spoke about, local Referenzen. So there are many, many websites where you can list the information for your business. You can put in your telephone number, your website, a short descriptive text about your business, your address, the opening hours.
There's a
lot of industry directories that you can use for this. Here are some of them. It's important to look out what these are so you can make an informed decision about which fits best to my business. Another option is local media. We shouldn't underrate them. They have a wide reach, and they also reach many different target audiences. Young audiences are online a lot. Media plays a big role in local sales, and might be more for the older generation. One always thinks, can I have a cooperation with a local media outlet? Would they list my business? Can I put stories? Can I advertise? What are the options for my store? So maybe people would write an article about it and then think, oh, that sounds great. I'd like to visit that store. So Facebook, I did also say, that is a possibility, an option for placement. It's important to have a decent Facebook page with all the information that you need, from the address to opening hours. People don't just use Google for searching. You can also use Facebook as a search engine if you're looking for a store or restaurant. So people can then, if your page comes up, they can say, okay, well, I'll follow them. So it's important that you have then a full profile there with all the information that your customer needs. Can I be reached? What's my address?
Zeit lang im Ausland gelebt und habe da zum Beispiel auch die Leute über Facebook angeschrieben, wann die aufhaben, wenn die das gar nicht bei Facebook angegeben hatten. Von daher ist es auch immer eine Möglichkeit, dass man da auch noch mal in die Nachrichten guckt, wenn man das vielleicht noch nicht alles optimiert hat, ob man nicht da die Nutzer noch mal mehr abfangen kann. Und auch bei Facebook ist es möglich, dass man Rezensionen hinterlässt.
By Facebook it's possible to leave reviews. It's important that you get good reviews. If you get 4.5 out of 5 stores, one will think, okay, that looks like it's a good store, and then maybe I'll go there.
Also da kann ich auch Werbeanzeigen schalten oder meine Seite.
Facebook has also a tool called Facebook targeting. You can enter a specific area
mit verschiedenen Interessen.
So you can look for a specific demographic group with specific interests, with specific behaviors and connections, and see that Facebook targeting will then give you results based on those specific parameters. So I hope what I've told you has been informative. I hope I was able to give you some good tips so that you can use online advertising to bring people into your offline businesses. Now I'm giving the mic over to Karin, so thank you. So, thank you, that was very informative.
Jetzt wird's analog.
So now we're going to go analog.
Parallelen von online zu
We're
offline.
going to talk about the parallel from of online to offline. I've said to Michelle earlier
Wie man auch diese Einkaufserlebnisse dann im stationären Handel schaffen kann.
how one can bring a shopping experience into the offline store.
Die neues Geschäft
Maybe there's someone here who's opening a new store who might be able to use these tips to start their business.
mitnehmen und
And maybe there's something that you can use in your own store.
Do's und Don'ts, die können wir
So,
uns
and then I have a few do's and don'ts for your businesses, and I've also got some nice pictures to show you. So am I standing in the way? Okay, it's good. So,
Hier geht es die visuelle Darstellung von online wie offline. Das heißt,
this involves the visual representation from online to offline.
online professionell zu präsentieren.
What does it mean to present professionally online? You might not know these. CI stands for corporate identity. So when I'm a startup, I'm starting a new business. At first, I have to decide what my company stands for. What is my identity?
Traditionelles Unternehmen.
Am I a traditional company? Do I want to be perceived as a traditional company? Maybe I want to take some new direction, be modern or different. And then this is reflected in CD, which stands for corporate design.
Gemeint.
Corporate design means pretty much everything. It begins with the logo. Maybe I have a logo, or I'm having one designed.
Roter Faden.
This has to work like and carry through my corporate identity through my entire business and all of my presentation.
Wie präsentiere ich mich eben auf der Fläche oder mit meinem Unternehmen, mit meinem Geschäft?
It acts as a factor in representation in how I represent myself in the store, in the business, online.
Hofläden haben.
Here are different touch points. We're using, for example, the Werner company. They have many stores in Germany.
Hier habe ich mal aufgezeigt, wie sie sich präsentieren.
Here I've showed how they present themselves. They're a family company, a traditional family company. The wife of the junior chef does the marketing. I find she does a really great job. She's on Instagram. When I see pictures of her desserts made with fresh fruits, it looks so great. And I always just want to try it myself. She makes the recipes. And here's a picture of the raspberry torte that she's got. It looks terrific. So they present themselves as an online shop, and they use this as a direct connection with their brick-and-mortar store. Here's the first impression of their shop. So the first picture will show that it's like a before and after here. These pictures, they're on a very heavily trafficked road, and they noticed that people didn't know if they were open or not. So with some very simple tips, it didn't have to do very much, how they can change this picture.
Das vorher, das sah so ein bisschen lieblos aus.
So before, it looks all right, but then afterwards, with this umbrella, of colorful pillows on the bench, and then the sign that's put out. These are all indicators we are open, and we're glad that you are here. So here is another store of theirs. You come on to the parking lot, and you are welcomed immediately with what you first see. So by the time you come into the store, you have so much anticipation about what you're about to see. For me as a customer, it's showing that it's something special, and it makes me want to come into the store. So let's look at merchandise presentation in the store. You don't have a second chance for a first impression. So I've come into the store. This is called the third place. The first place is where you live, with your home, with your family. Your second place, or home away from home, maybe this is in English, where this is your place of work, where you spend lots of time. We see a lot of women here who own shops that spend lots of time in their stores. There's not a lot of time for what we'd call a third home. And the third home is involves your leisure time. This is the time when I shop. It's my leisure time, my free time, and I want to make that as pleasant as possible. I want to arrange it to be as pleasant as possible. When I go into a store, I want it to have a wonderful atmosphere. I want it to have a quality that keeps me in the store. I want the dwelling time to be increased through an ambience.
Geht jemand nur rein,
if you go in, you might, it's because you need a specific feed, and maybe you have bought that food, but you didn't buy anything else. The goal should be to create an experience so that when you come in, maybe there's a cafe bar, maybe someone is sitting, maybe you see friends there. The people say, you know, let's take a look around here. I just discovered something great. So it needs to be a place where you have to want to stay in the store. We'll call that a home away from home. I don't want to just be sold something. I want to be offered something. Here is a customer route. In an ideal store, we have mostly right-handed people, and that's the way this is designed, going to the right for right-handed people. The green points are active sales zones. So that on the right wall will be a very attractive sales zone. You stroll further, you might come to a table or place in the middle of the store. These are active sales zones. People tend to walk around on the outside of the area of the store along the walls. You can steer people through. There are things that people need to buy, and there are things that people buy on impulse. So maybe you come in and I need feed quickly. I need to buy boots quickly, although that's not a quick purchase. But I go into the store because I need something, because it's on my shopping list. I know this from IKEA. I wanted to just buy a table, and you can imagine what was on my cart by the time I got to the cash register. Of course, I got some napkins, because IKEA manages to create curiosity and make people want to discover things and pick up things to take home. So we are riding a thin line between needs-based purchases and impulse purchases. Here you can see if somebody is walking through the city, here's something that's great. Here's a great discovery. The focus points will always generate inspiration. So that I want to enjoy walking through and enjoying and discovering new things. Here's a hay wagon in the Werner Farmladen that they're using to present products. Some people use design objects that work as magnets for the customers. On the right, you see a picture with a sculpture which is made with terracotta pots that will bring people into that corner to discover the products there. So, pare down decision behaviors. I come from Köln. When I'm here and I go into my stores, I like to stop in cafes, and every second corner here there's a Starbucks. So I'll go in, and then I say I want a coffee, and then they'll say, moment, hold on. What kind of coffee do you want? We've got Americano, cappuccino, a latte. All I want is a cup of coffee. Well, how about small, medium, large, XL, Brazilian, Arabica? We don't want that many decisions. The brain needs 25% of its total energy. Do you know how many decisions a person has to make in a day? Michelle, guess how many decisions one has to make in a day? Too many. So give me a number. 2,000? 2,000. Anybody else? Anybody have a number? 60,000? Well, okay. Well, then you've got 6 people and a big company. The average is 20,000. But people are always astonished to hear that we have to make 20,000 decisions every day. At first, So, okay, today I'm on the stage, open up my closet. Oh, what do I wear?
Weg für diese Entscheidung.
Those are then the next 200 decisions.
Weniger ist mehr.
Customers want it easier than that. Less is more. When we perceive something, there are studies that say that you have 2 to 3 seconds of time to get your message across. 2 to 3 seconds is not a lot of time. But this can be crucial, that someone within those 2-3 seconds says, I like that or I don't like that. We perceive a few things and 3 things consciously and 7 things unconsciously. So the things that we notice might be a box that's standing in the way or color that's not working. And so you'll walk on, but you don't really know why. If you're asked, you say, well, I don't know. I have a schooled eye for this, so I can say why people would move on what their subconscious is telling them. So it's important to me that people are welcomed with a friendly feeling, that the text must not be too long and the atmosphere must be friendly. I said to you I'd bring in some development or building principles, the congruence principle, a ranking principle, and what's called color blocking. When we develop these principles, we develop something very visually pleasant for them. The congruence principle. You might have lots of different products in different sizes. So you might make in this what is also called a tree principle. So in the center, the tallest products, and that they would gradually be of smaller size. The ranking principle, or a series, a sequential principle, with an alternating large and small. And so you're creating series of optics. This creates a calming image. Here's color blocking. You see how in a beverage store, what works with these bottles, there is a cross block. If you have, so I know this from drugstores, if you see shampoos on one store, but if you have a specific brand, a specific company in a block, then you'll have the next firm. Maybe their colors will be in violet. The shampoos are all on the same, go by on the same height, but through the blocks I can recognize from that there might be hairsprays that I can then recognize the brand.
Beispiel mit den Schabracken finde ich eben toll, weil dieses Color Blocking auch mal horizontal angewandt. Oben die hellen und unten die dunklen. Also immer entweder von links nach rechts oder von oben nach unten und das von hell nach dunkel. Wir sind bei einem wichtigen Punkt angelangt. Wir haben vorher von der Aufenthaltsqualität gesprochen, von dem Ambiente, und das Licht trägt den größten Anteil dazu. Ich war schon in Scheunen, da waren Neonröhren an der Decke. Neonröhren sind nicht sexy. Neon hat immer einen sehr hohen Blauanteil. Da werde ich nie eine Atmosphäre bekommen. Wie Sie an diesem Foto hier sehen, wir brauchen eine allgemeine Grundbeleuchtung, damit alles eben ausgeleuchtet ist und dann mit einzelnen Spotstrahlern auf diese Highlightflächen, auf diese Fokusflächen, dann kriege ich auch eine Dreidimensionalität. Dann ist nicht alles so flach ausgeleuchtet, sondern dann sehe ich da hinten was, oh, da passiert was, das kennt man ja. Da, wo Licht ist, mag man ja auch hingehen. Und auch weiter hinten sollte es ein bisschen heller sein, wenn man vorne eine große Fensterfront hat, weil von vorne dann einiges an Licht schon reinkommt, aber man mag ja auch in keine dunkle Ecken gehen. So, jetzt kommen wir zu Digital Signage. Da bin ich immer froh, wenn ich es fehlerfrei aussprechen kann. Ist natürlich auch ein Punkt, kann man natürlich auch digitale Dinge darauf abspielen. Hier ist ein Foto, das
Here is a photo from the airport. I made this in Riga. This is a matter of, this is augmented reality. The people who stand there are enhanced with thought balloons. This is a great gimmick, but it's also really expensive. Is this the future? Digital signage, is this part of our future? Well, we're finding more and more of it. Here, I can read emotional. I can present emotions. If I really have content,
da kann ich dann natürlich meine Produkte davor hinstellen und es hat einen Mehrwert, weil ich meine Kunden vielleicht schon auf die neue Saison einstellen kann.
this will give some added value because my customers will be looking for the new collection. You can show the new gloves.
Kauft sich einen Fernseher, stellt den
If someone goes to buy a television, you look in the shop window and you look at the digital designs, and you only see, if you only actually see the shop hours, then you think, well, maybe not.
jeden Tag Angebote des
So
Tages haben.
McDonald's has like a offer of the day that might be good for them, but
Und ob der
your shop windows have to be tended to.
2-3 Monaten kaputt gehen, weil der nicht auf Dauerbetrieb ausgelegt
Then digital signage is,
Intensität hat,
it doesn't have the light intensity
noch im Schaufenster sehen zu können.
that people can see things. You need professional
Das muss man für sich
machines for this. It costs 2,000 to 3,000 euros.
bei Interviews gefragt.
In interviews, I'm also often asked, what do I think of digital signage? And I'll give you my answer.
Das links fand ich super,
Here,
dass Sie endlich mal
the left,
meine Vorträge und das rechts
I think it's great that someone finally has a picture of one of my signs.
Wir sind im stationären Handel.
We're in a shop.
Die Verkäuferinnen sind wichtig.
The salespeople are important. It's important to talk to people. And if you have that, then you don't need a screen.
Setzen Sie sich die Kundenbrille auf.
So put on your customer glasses.
Ich weiß immer, wenn ich mir Freunde
I
einlade,
know that when I invite friends
Wohnung fällt mir plötzlich
and I look at my own apartment differently, so
das, was
if you
Kunde sieht, versuchen Sie
go through your store as if you were a customer and think about, how can I make this more friendly? How can I better receive my customers?
was könnte ich vielleicht noch
What
optimieren.
can I optimize?
So, jetzt sind wir auch schon bei den Do's und Don'ts.
So now we're at the do's and don'ts.
So bin ich empfangen worden.
This is how
Lustig.
I am
Ist lustig.
welcomed.
Aber wenn man wirklich
Yeah, it's funny,
3 Popos Hinterteilen begrüßt
but if I
werden,
am looking at two behinds,
hier ist jemand,
that means
im eigenen Mikrokosmos aufhält,
here is someone in their own microcosmos and who has not gone to the front of the store outside to look in.
umdreht,
So
aber mit 3
these are rocking horses,
ist, glaube ich, auch nicht
but
ganz.
it's not really that inviting to see their backsides.
Hier, so einen Handwerker hätte ich gerne, der braucht keine
Here's another don't.
aber offensichtlich gibt es keine Bekleidung für diesen Handwerker. mit den ganz langen Armen.
So this model with the very long arms, if you use mannequins
nicht unbedingt vormachen,
where everything's a little bit exaggerated,
nach dem Namen, das war die Christel, mit der habe ich gelernt.
I've learned to the company Crystal that
Auch einem Trend habe ich auch ein Foto mit dabei. Bitte arbeiten Sie mit professionellen
work
Materialien.
with professional materials. And the doors. Always close your doors. And that's actually what the sign says. Please close the door. Here are do's. You can create dynamic displays. What will create curiosity?
Mit dabei und noch ein toller
You
Hut
can
mit
add a great bag, a great hat. You can use your entire product line
das passt zusammen, das passt zusammen.
in ways that work together, that invite people to come in and try these products and maybe buy them.
Sieht sehr clean aus, sehr elegant aus.
These two figures to the right, they look very clean and elegant.
Gibt es eben ja, die richtige Aussage für das Produkt.
It's the right statement for your product.
Auch an der Rückwand, bei Western darf es ein bisschen spannender sein, da hängt man
So on the back wall, we've got some hooks hanging from the wall, which things can be thrown onto. This gives you the feeling of being at a competition.
die Unterteile, dann eher wie hier, lieber abwechseln, wie so ein Schachbrett.
To give some variety, it brings some balance to the store. Here's also a do. I discovered this at Rewe, which is a supermarket.
Und ist ganz viel Ware drumherum, aber es
There's
ist
lots of products all around it, but it's still an eye-catcher.
das Herz öffnen.
First, I have to open the heart, and then the mind, and then the wallet.
Zusammen, boah, echt voll die Punktlandung.
So I'm at my summary now. Offer shoppers a retail experience. Make simple pictures for them. Do not overstimulate them.
Wichtig ist gutes Lichtkonzept. Wirklich, das ist
Make simple design, good lighting design. It's important to have that.
Ordnung und Sauberkeit. Das ist wie mit
Keep things clean and tidy. People feel better in places that are tidied up.
irgendwas Besonderes. Lieber mutig als
Have
langweilig.
courage. Have more. It's more important to have courage,
Das, glaube ich, zeigt sich, indem Sie alle hier sind und bis
and so enthusiasm will keep.
Sie haben Herzblut. Man muss das,
I'm sure that all of you do have enthusiasm because you're here.
und Sie haben alle so viel um die Ohren. Und jetzt haben Sie von der Frau Wahl so viel gehört.
You've heard so much today, and I'm sure now you're thinking, well, now I have to hear this. But
Der Profi kann
hire a professional. The professional can take this job from you, can offer you a concept.
Uhr habe ich noch mal eine Führung,
At,
15 bis 16
at,
Uhr auf der POS-Fläche.
at 3 o'clock, I have a tour that I can show you things. We'll do this with simple means,
Der hat auch in der Regel
but a professional
an Materialien kommt oder wie man
will be also able to work with affordable materials.
Sie haben jetzt gehört, wie wichtig
Please come. You've heard how important optics is in a store.
und dann ja, werden Sie zusammen mit dem Profi ein
Together with the professional, you'll have a great store.
weil es gibt nichts Wichtigeres
There's nothing more important than being recommended by others. If I feel good, then I'll come again, and if I recommend further, that enters into social media, and that closes the circle.
Guck mal auf die Uhr. 13:30.
Okay, it's 1:30. Thank you. Thank you.
Interesse war toll, dass Sie jetzt
Thank you for the interest. Thank you for staying to hear me. We've given you lots of things to think about.
wir alle brauchen jetzt einmal
I think we all need a coffee. So there's no Starbucks here, but that's okay. I'll be on the corner at the small cafe, the cafe car. I say thank you very much, and you can see that I am able to talk a lot. Come over to the inspiration area in Hall 7 and find me, and be happy to show you that live. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Karin Wahl and Michelle Holtmeyer. I think it went very well, and thank you. Some applause for our guests. Thank you.
Das behalte ich.
Oh, I'll take that. Thank you. So you can stay here, or if you're in the area, you can come back to our stage. We're going to continue in a half an hour with our retail award. Then we'll be opening up a bottle of champagne, and I'm sure people will be interested to see how we're going to continue. So,
I see you running out of reasons. Don't try to blame it on the seasons. Why you wanna walk away? When we began, swear we had something that was